Yo, what's going on, y'all? Hope y'all are doing alright today. Bringing you guys a Tarkov video today for um, players that have a good GPU, but they have a low RAM. And for me, personally, I got a 4070 in my PC, but I only have 16 gigabytes of RAM. And I have a fairly good CPU. I have a Ryzen 7 7700. Jeez. And a lot of people say that Tarkov is a CPU based game, and that's true, but you can still make it run more off your GPU with these settings I'm about to show you. So let's get into it. First things first, OBS settings, you already know. Alright, so texture quality, you're going to go high, shadow quality high. What that's going to do, it's going to make it run more off your GPU, and you don't have to push so much power from your CPU to load the things around you. Object LOD quality, you're going to keep it on 2, so your game's not trying to render in every little scratch and detail on objects like cars and trash and stuff like that. Overall visibility, put that on 1500, and on the bigger maps you can put it to 3000 or 2500 because you want to be able to see everyone around you. Anti-aliasing at TAA high, you want to keep that at TAA high, and then I also have a couple NVIDIA control panel settings that I use to make the game even look better. And DLSS off, of course, FSR, of course, off, resampling off. And then when you get to HBAO, I run it on high personally just to make the GPU use more power than the CPU. You can run max performance and high performance, but in my case, it doesn't make the game look good when you run it on those two. If you use high, it gets rid of that grainy texture that Tarkov has, and it just makes the game look smoother. And you could see reflections, you could see like people better and like from walls that like are shiny and stuff like that. SSR on Ultra, I know that's super high, and some people are probably like freaking out and like, bro, what the heck, you don't need to go that high. But for me personally, I found when you use SSR on Ultra and Zeebler, I'll get into Zeebler after, but when you use these two settings together, that effect you get when you're looking side to side, in Tarkov, when you do that, even if you have Zeebler turned off, you kind of still have like a motion blur effect, and you can't really see your opponents that well when you're turning left and right, and like it hinders you from doing like movement plays and stuff like that. So when you run SSR on Ultra and with Zeebler, it allows you to see more when you're turning left and right. For some reason, it gets rid of that motion blur effect that the game already has on it. And I think what that is when you don't have Zeebler on, and say you're running SSR on whatever, when you're turning, your game is rendering everything around you like it would when you're aiming down far range or aiming close range. It doesn't matter. It's still trying to render everything in. And since the way Tarkov is, sometimes it can't do all that when you're turning. It's a lot of stuff to try to render in. So when you turn Z blur on, and even if SSR is on Ultra, when that Z blur is on, it allows the game to be blurred for a second when you're turning left and right. So the game doesn't have to try as hard to render things in. So I think that's why it allows you to look and see more when you have these two settings hand in hand. And then NVIDIA Reflex on low latency right here on plus boost. And then my sharpness is zero point 0.2, and I run high quality color, Z-Blur of course. In volumetric lighting, I found it helps me see in buildings better through windows or closed windows. You can just see better into buildings with that on. And some people run grass shadows. I've been running it on and off. So, just play around with that and see what it does for your setup. See if it makes you lose frames or if you like the way the game looks with it. And now let's get into my NVIDIA settings. Alright, now that we're on NVIDIA control panel, you're going to want to come over to Manus 3D settings. And don't be on global, you're going to want to go to program settings. And you're going to want to make sure you click escape from Tarkov. And if you don't see it on this list right here, just go ahead and click add, and it should be the first game on top if you're running it already. So first things first, we got image sharpening. And if you don't know how to get this, I'll leave a tutorial at the very end of the video. You have to go to your registry and change one thing. And I know that's a little scary for some people, but it is a great benefit to use this. And what you want to do is you want to turn ignore film grain all the way up and sharpen all the way down. Ignore film grain. With this all the way up, it's going to get rid of that grainy texture that Tarkov has, and it's also going to help with that turning left to right that I was talking about earlier. Anisotropic filtering, you're going to want that on 16 times. And if you do this way, you're going to want to make sure you have it turned off in game. You're going to want your anisotropic filtering turned off in game. You don't want to double it up because you're going to start having problems if you do. And in game we had TAA high on, and you're going to want to come in here and turn FXAA on as well. And you want to use both because TAA stands for temporal anti-aliasing, and that is what causes the blur effect when you turn left and right. So if you have FXAA on, and you also turn the anti-aliasing mode here on enhance, turn it up to 8 times, what that's going to do is when you're turning and you're getting that blur effect, this FXAA on with the enhance mode is going to sharpen the image when you're turning. It's going to help you see opponents, it's going to help you get movement down, and you're just going to be able to see more things when you're turning your head, because Tarkov, a lot of people play like standing, peeking, so if you're the movement player that's moving fast or you're used to games like that, you're going to want these settings to be able to see the most you can. And then you're also going to want to go to transparency right here and turn this on multi-sample. What this is going to do is for those objects in game that kind of start to appear invisible, or like you can see some lines and like you can see like half of it and half of it you can't see, this is going to make those things look better and not look so ugly, so you can see through leaves and stuff like that. And then we'll continue to go down. I have low latency mode here on ultra. This doesn't really matter if you run reflex in game, but I run this just in case if the reflex isn't working, or if I want to try turning it off, like, because sometimes, you know, the Tarkov, when you're playing it, sometimes changing the setting in raid will make the game look 10 times better. And you're going to keep going down. I got anisotropic sample optimization on, negative LOD bias allow, quality on regular, trilinear optimization. You're going to want to force that on. There's a video by Clementine, I'll link it in the description. And what forcing this on will do is it just makes it so sometimes you use bilinear optimization instead of trilinear, so your game doesn't have to try so hard to run to render in like some objects that like are like very minor. And this will just like give your GPU a rest, because we are putting it to the test with all these settings, so you're going to want it to have a little bit of leeway, you know, to chill. And threaded optimization, you're also going to force that on. What that's going to do is it's going to make it so your what am I trying to say here? You just get a few extra frames with this forced on instead of auto. You know, you're gonna want to force optimization of this. You get like 5 to 10 extra frames. It doesn't hurt. Just test this out if you want, but I know it helps with me, so I just keep it on. In my vertical sync right here, so I have a 75 hertz monitor, and if I don't use fast VSync on Tarkov, I get screen tear very badly. If you have over 165 hertz monitor, you don't have to use this. You can just, you know, turn on NVIDIA Reflex with latency in game and you're good to go. Or your monitor has like an adaptive sync mode, like on the Pro Tools, you're going to want to use fast VSync with it and not the in-game VSync on Tarkov, because if you turn the in-game VSync on Tarkov, you cannot use NVIDIA Reflex as well. And yeah, that's all the settings. Let's get into a raid and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Just going into some ground zero here, see if we can catch a couple fights. I really forgot what I needed. I was going to come to this map for something specific before I started recording this video, but I don't remember. And I just want to get a couple kills. So, see what we could do. I'm kind of hungry. I think I might go fry a chimichanga after this. Y'all ever gotten some of those like microwave burritos, and you put it in the microwave for like a minute and a half, and then you take it out and like you heat up some oil on the stove in like a cast iron pot, and then you deep fry it like a gas station burrito? Bro, if you haven't tried it, try it. If you know how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, you know, don't. But bro, it's gas, I'm telling you. Can't go wrong. I'm finna go make two. One for me, one for you.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
Alright, here we go. Gonna go check Emercom real quick. remember if I brought painkillers or not. I think I got some in my pouch though. Okay. Yeah. Someone's creeping up on me. Here's something to my right. Could be a scav. Crap, I think I still got my Rainbow Six preset on for the sound, but it'll be alright. I'm not finna change it now. Might get into a fight on our way back over here. Oh, I remember what I came back in here for now. I came to get some Tarkov from the food store. Oh. Yeah, good little scav one. You good, bro? You done talking? Oh! I was talking all that smack, hiding behind the corner. Got the shiesty. I'm gonna chill right here and eat this chocolate bar. If you're wondering why I got my freaking vest full of mags, it's because I plan on freaking just full blasting this first mag when I find a PMC. Gotta make sure he dies. Greedy. Greedy. Mm-hmm. I definitely just heard the step. Oh, crap. Hey, bro. Alright, GG's. Alright. Thank y'all for watching. I'm live every Friday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Come check me out. Hope y'all have a good night. Dang, bro. Got smacked by a freaking PP cat. Alright, time to go eat, bro. So to get the image sharpening option, change it from image scaling to image sharpening, you're going to want to pull up your Windows menu. Go ahead and type run. And then once you get here, you're going to type in here, what's it called? Regedit. R-E-G edit. Click OK.
Throwing flashbang.
And you're going to want to copy this up here at the top all the way. It's going to be computer H key underscore local underscore machine blah 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 blah. I'll leave it in the description if you want to just copy and paste it from there. And you're going to scroll all the way down until you see 535. Where is it at? Right here. You're going to look for enable GR 535 and you're going to double click it. And yours, it's going to be on 1. You're just going to change the value from 1 to 0. Click OK, exit, and then you're just going to go ahead and restart your PC. And next time you go to your NVIDIA app, like so, it will be the image sharpening. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. GS loves you. Peace out.